Good evening, everybody. I just want to come on and give you guys a little bit of news, a little bit of updates, just in case you haven't heard. There's a few things going on here. So without further ado, I'll just hand it over to Pastor Paul Begley. And then after that, I'm going to go to Stephen Ben Noon. So check it out.
Yes, are you serious? Right now, what you have is Damascus is in a ruinous heap. Well, not completely, of course, but it has been a long period of time. The bombing, the wars, the ISIS, the beheadings, the rapings, all of the things that's went on. And it's still going on now as 300 civilians have died after 4 days of intense attacks. Pro-government forces of Assad have pounded the rebel-held eastern suburbs of Damascus. They're at Ghouta for the fourth day in a row. At least 38 civilians are dead, including 4 children. And according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, this is what they're saying. Since Sunday night, we have a death toll. Syrian and Russian airstrikes collectively have cost 310 civilians their lives. That includes 72 children there in the suburbs of Damascus. It looks like a ruinous heap in those areas. I was at the Golan Heights a year and a half ago with Stephen Ben Noon, and standing on the Golan Heights overlooking the border of Syria, we looked with his camera lens, we looked right into the streets of Damascus. We could see Damascus. We were less than 2 miles away from Damascus, and we looked into right down the streets of the city, and it was just an unbelievable ruins. The whole city's not completely destroyed, but about 30% of the city of Damascus functions because it's been protected primarily by Assad, and the Iranians and even the Russians have protected it. But the misery of Damascus has just been unbelievable. There is a prophetic word in the Lord, of course. Many of you have read it or seen it, I'm sure, out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 17. And Isaiah said these words. He said, Damascus, here's the word of the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. Well, it's still there as a city, but it is becoming a ruinous heap as far as 70% of that.
And the dream that I had when my mama's passed, you guys, but she walked out the door, and she said, "Rush is your life insurance policy." And she was just a giggling and so happy. Well, Jesus is my life insurance policy. And that was letting me know that would be the rapture. And it's going to have to do with Russia. I guess we'll be going to war with them at some point. And right after that, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, right after that, I asked the Lord what He would want me to read that day, in the Bible. And I just opened the Bible and I looked down and it said, well, where, Damascus would be a ruinous heap. And I just thought I'd share that with you. That was like giving me more confirmation of a timeline to look for. And I think that has to do with it, and that has to do with war. So anyways, here we go. I'll go back to Pastor Paul Begley.
City, and I can't figure out why the shelling, they're fighting over the final positions. The oil, of course, is a major part of Syria, and that's why there's still fighting going on there, fighting going on up in the area where the Kurds are, where there's oil wells, there's people still trying to control them. Just pray for the people of Damascus. It's very, very sad. And, Americans have been bombing there, Iranians, Russians, the Syrians, the Chinese have even been in there, the British, the French. You got Al-Qaeda. It's just been butchering people. ISIS was the worst of all. The Free Syrian Army. It goes on and on and on. Okay, just way too.
Yeah, it is. But you know, it is Bible prophecy, and it's going to be done. The Lord's word does not come back void, and um, so I'm going to take you to another bit of news that I find pertinent to what's going on today. So here we go.
Shalom Chabrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. All kinds of exciting things happening today, and we're going to go into this issue about the video we just removed about Obama and the UN General Secretary there. There's a lot of sources we were looking at on this. I'll get into that in just a moment, but before I do, U.S. confirms Jerusalem embassy opening in May, coinciding with Israel's 70th anniversary.
The 70th anniversary of Jerusalem. Now, I said this, I don't know, 6 months ago. I said that embassy would be moved before in 2019 when they were saying, or at the end of 2018. I said that they would move this embassy a lot quicker. I just wanted to give that little bit of information to you. I just felt like it felt it in my spirit.
Anniversary. There was already information swirling on Twitter from the Transport Minister, Israel Katz, who seemed to confirm the move would occur in the spring. That's where we get a lot of our own information. We're searching Twitter, picking up on things before they actually break in the news to see how things are going to happen. But finally, the Trump administration will officially relocate the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem in May. That was timed with Israel's 70th day. A State Department official has confirmed this to the Jerusalem Post today, here on Friday, February 23rd, 2018. Very, very huge move. And you know what's funny? The Arabic world will be all up in arms over it, but it doesn't make sense. This is exactly what the Vatican negotiated with Israel back during the Oslo Accords and their secret meetings that Joel Beinerman brought out. And it's obvious that much of the world knows about it, such as Erdogan of Turkey when he says East Jerusalem is the capital of the Palestinians. China saying East Jerusalem is the capital of the Palestinians. Trump saying Jerusalem, doesn't specify west, east, or anything, but if you notice his verbiage, Trump also parroting what the Vatican says there, because the status quo for the Temple Mount will remain that way, and of course it'll be done through a negotiation. Yeah, once again.
I wanted to say one thing there, where he said the Arabic nation would be up in arms about this. Yeah, they will be. And let's see, Amanda, Kim Mosley, I believe Chanda, and Colleen, and there may be somebody else that have had either Arabic dreams or audibles that they've heard. So that's something to look for, you guys.
In a split of the city, in other words. And then we have Simon Tov that has been on Israeli News Live showing us that already a two-state deal had been done. Barry Chamish, Joel Beinerman, all of them showing a two-state deal had already been worked out back in 1993 with the Vatican. The two-state deal really is for the Vatican, not for the Palestinians. Although they do get East Jerusalem as their capital, they do get a state. The old city will become an international zone. The UN will be ahead of it there. And so that's one reason why I think there's a lot of...
And you heard that the UN would be the head of it there. And I said this a while back, too, when they were just saying that Obama was the only, and I mean the only, president in history that sat in the head chair of the UN. He's already done it. He's already sat in the head chair of the UN. And I knew right then, I thought to myself, well, you know, you put two and two together, you normally get four, right? Anyways, here we go.
Speculation swirling about Obama becoming the Secretary General. Going to get into that in just a moment, though. Want to go back to this here, though. Also, though, what's really concerning to me as well, though, is that, I mean, not concerning, but even Russia saying that they would acknowledge West Jerusalem as Israel's capital. You know, again, every one of these countries, Russia, the United States, Erdogan and Turkey and China and all these other global players, all of them parroting what the Vatican's already agreed upon. Let me tell you something. Yeah, there's going to come a war because why? Israelis are not going to go along with the idea of what the Palestinians are going to get in exchange for all of this, but I think they're going to use that war to kind of drive the people out to make it the way they want it to be.
Well, I'll just stop it right there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, you guys. And it's picking up speed. And like I said before, they said they're going to move, they would move the embassy, and it was going to take time. And I said, I think I was talking to Lashara or Amanda. I said, they can move just like that if they wanted to. It wouldn't take any time at all. It doesn't, how long does it have to take, really? I mean, with the advanced technological knowledge that we have today through everything, through, computers and just everything, it would take no time at all. And Obama, uh-huh, becoming the Secretary General, yeah, things are ramping up. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of news. And we're just gonna have to keep our eyes open because I think things are gonna really start ramping up pretty quick now. Anyways, you guys have a blessed evening. I may be back tomorrow with a few things, and I may not. But anyways, God bless each and every one of you. Amen and amen.